Good Sunday afternoon, Roger Hill of Wuthering Heights, VELCO Weather Hazards Forecaster. This VELCO weather outlook, we're looking at the country at large here, and down in the southwest corner here, you can see off the coast of Baja, California, is Hurricane Frank. And Hurricane Frank is going to be tracking off the coast of California and really bring in a lot of moisture and monsoon moisture. There's been a lot of shower and thunderstorm activity pretty much daily across the desert southwest. This is going to shoot a big area of moisture up into the Pacific Northwest, where they're undergoing currently a heat wave. And as you can see, some of the heat indices, a couple places to note: the southern Gulf Coast, that's south of this quasi-stationary frontal boundary, which won't let go, producing flash flooding, especially in areas of Kentucky, West Virginia, and somewhat into Virginia. Another area of low pressure, kind of a trough. You can see a short wave here and the 500 hectopascal flow, and this kind of almost quasi-stationary as well, currently across Quebec, well up to the north of our region. This little trough is going to bring in our next weather maker, and that's going to drag that cold front that's up here southward into the area along about Tuesday afternoon and evening. Right now it looks like it's more of a northern Vermont issue, and it looks like thunderstorm activity will be in the neighborhood, but at this point relatively benign, with wind fields staying under 30 miles per hour, 30 knots. But panning out just a bit, you can see Hurricane Frank. I think it's a Cat 2 storm, and it's again forecast to come up and bring in a considerable amount of moisture, especially into, say, parts of Northern California. Probably a lot of dry lightning, and there could be some fire activity with the thunderstorms and potentially even some flash flooding. We'll have to wait and see about that. Looking at the incremental observations and model forecasts, the European on the left-hand side, we have the GFS ensemble on the right-hand side. So we have that stationary frontal boundary here, the stationary frontal boundary here. You can see them depicted, and of course Hurricane Frank. So running the computer model, this is now valid into the overnight period, early Monday morning. Nothing to worry about. Area of higher pressure. There could be just a couple sprinkles in the southern part of Vermont for some buildups, but it looks pretty limited. And GFS ensemble is on board and pretty close right here with our next shot of precipitation working in. It looks like during the morning hours across portions of to our west across New York and adjacent Canada, and then it works in by 15Z 11 o'clock, and same kind of thing here. And this is not looking at a big precipitation producer, but generally lighter amounts with least amounts of forcing. Things kind of fall apart as you get into the evening hours. Another area of higher pressure will build in from kind of east of the Great Lakes into Quebec, and this is going to afford a very nice, good project weather day on Wednesday that follows those showers and thunderstorms, which will be minimal on Tuesday. So once we get into that, and then beyond that, we're looking at a fairly good setup. A pretty vigorous frontal boundary is indicated. Now the GFS ensemble, the GFS model kind of falls apart a little bit on that, but this is going to be inbound basically for the afternoon hours on Thursday. Kind of a narrow, high precipitable water kind of moisture train, an area of higher pressure beyond it. So this ends up kind of sliding through Quebec and then into northern parts of New England, but never really pushes this off to the south. So consequently, on Friday, it's a little bit shaky, a little bit less confident on the forecast here, but we could see a frontal wave work in with extra PWATS and potential for more showers and thunderstorms as we head into next weekend and beyond into the early part of next week. Looking at 3-hourly QPF of the GFS ensemble centered on the Montpelier grid, what we notice here is this is going to be our shower and thunderstorm activity. Notice it's just about a tenth, not a huge deal here. This would be then followed by drier weather on Wednesday. So we got Tuesday afternoon and evening, then Wednesday drying out, and then basically Thursday and then lingering a lot into Friday, I think. And looking at the total QPF, looks like this. So we're talking generally under 1 inch amount. So overall, this is below normal for this outlook period. And laying... again, looking at the total 3-hourly QPF and then overlaying CAPE, and you can see that it's very convective. We got convection here. This is CAPE's greater than 1,000 joules per kilogram. secondary on Thursday, and then we have several days to follow that are showing up in the ensembles. Now, laying over shear, I don't see any really big deal going on. About prior to that, it looks like about 30 knots of shear, but that gets lower and falls apart at basically 25 to 30 knots of shear. So these would be slow-moving thunderstorms, and one or two can unload some pretty heavy rainfall with the slow movers, and probably more isolated and less forcing involved. And precipitable water anomalies do line up kind of with that. Then we dry out on Wednesday for a very nice, good project weather day, and then we're back into it on Thursday, and it looks like into Friday with higher precipitable water, as basically correlates very well with the European model. Weather Prediction Center gives us our 1 through 7 total quantitative precipitation forecast, or accumulated rainfall is the way we'll look at it. And what we're seeing is high amounts over the sort of eastern and northern Great Lakes and into Canada. I showed you that stationary front that's to the north. The secondary stationary front is through basically mid-Mississippi Valley, but generally east of that point through Tennessee, parts of Kentucky. They're looking at still some very heavy rainfall, and then continuing into the middle Atlantic states and kind of offshore. We're kind of left in between, only a quarter of an inch in southern and eastern parts of Vermont, about a half inch in more northerly areas, and the most precipitation is to our north and west, or south and west. And on this Sunday morning, this is where we stood here with slightly anomalous temperatures using the climate reanalyzer. And what you can see here is also a little bit above normal, but a lot of cooler spots as well. Some major warm-up taking place currently in the Pacific Northwest, where they're under the gun with a heat wave, and that stretches into British Columbia. Moss looks like this, and we're running about 3 degrees above normal. We got some cool spots and warm spots with a heat up right across here. And about 3 days later, looks like this. Looking at the Atlantic Basin using the European tropical cyclone model ensemble. The only low pressure center that really shoots off of that sort of quasi-stationary front and exits out to sea. That's going to be about it. And basically, there's nothing to worry about. I don't see any real issues coming in off of Africa. And so we have quite a ways stretch here of quiet, dry, tropical weather. Pacific is very active. We'll be watching later on as we get into the month of August. No new tropical cyclones expected. Looking at moisture and precipitation climatology of the state of Vermont by county, Addison, Bennington, Caledonia, Chittenden, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to blow this up. I'm going to use Washington County just to show you kind of where we are. So this is 100% or near normal. Back 180 days, you have to go, but the last 6 months, close to normal. But ever since the entire, this is month to date for basically the month of July, almost the end here. And you can see we're below normal. So looking at that by Vermont County, you can kind of see where the water tables are well below normal. Addison, not so much Bennington. They've had some rain recently in southern parts of Vermont. Caledonia, so-so. Pretty close to normal, and Chittenden County has been pretty much across the board, not too far off from normal. Essex County, Northeast Kingdom, above normal. Franklin County, above normal. Grand Isle County, seeing decent rainfall. Lamoille County, kind of a little bit moisture starved recently, and then of course it's above normal as you head further back in time, grabbing more of that amount of time. Orange County, you can see that it's below normal. Orleans County, not bad. Rutland County, not looking too good, fairly dry. And Washington County is kind of following Orange County right now. Windham County below normal. Windsor County also below normal. There you go. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights. Thanks for watching.